Brazil. Well, hello, Brazil. How are you doing today? Oh, and of course, Zilby stood up, so now you just get a look at his feet. He looks tired, though. He'll probably be lying down very shortly. Okay, so looking into getting randomness from dev random. New to you. Oh, I don't think I've used dev random very much. Is dev random cryptographically random? I don't actually think I ever tried it before. Doing great. Looking forward to something interesting. Nice. Well, hopefully this is interesting. Okay, so this morning, to recap what we did, we started working on the part of the lesson for middleware where we basically take apart the body or extract the body out of the request, and then we can just do whatever we want with it. So in this case, I'd say in most cases, it's going to be like turn into JSON and then do something with that, and then back to like turn it back into the normal request and send that along. Now, if I were to do something silly, like say that request B would, but I keep on forgetting it's generic stuff. Although this is generic stuff, I could say potentially like, hey, I want you to be like a quote. Could I do that? Nope. This is very unhappy with that. So no. We can't do fun stuff like that. Okay, so what do we want to do here? Okay, put the body back together. That's what we want to do. So we lost the request. So we consumed the request right here by doing into parts. And so I want to put it back together again. Now with this body, I use the body. Okay, so 2 bytes. Do you take ownership of the body? Can I give you a reference? And I probably can't clone you because I wonder if I'm allowed to do that. It doesn't seem to like that. Yeah, it doesn't like me requiring clone here. Oh, yes, it is cryptographically secure. Oh, or not secure, random. That's good. That's nice. Okay, we're back to working again. So we have bytes, that's the body. I've lost the bod. I lost the request and I've lost the body. So I give ownership of the body here. So I consume the request at this point in time. I consume the body at this point in time. Which means that if I want to create another request, we might as well shadow it. Then I want to do a request. Now, can I do from parts? So we have parts and then body. So we have what I call the head, which I should probably rename to be parts. and then the body. Okay, so the body. Now, that's the body T. Now, can I put quote? Could I just put the quote in here? That would be interesting if I could do that. Okay. It's not too upset about that. Then I want to run next. Do that. Oh, it's, oh, then wait, maybe. Mismatch types expected. Struct hyper request found. Oh, it needs to be B. And I found a very specific, well, interesting. So quote, so B and quote must not be, oh, because it wants this thing that where B is Axum body, HTTP data equals bytes. Okay, so that's the problem. So I can't do that. I was hoping that I'm just hoping that I can maybe just get away with that, but no, I can't do that. So how do I pull that around? So I have the bytes, right? So we're gonna do the body from HTTP body probably, or is it this body? I don't want like a stream. I don't want a stream. I don't want a body. Okay, so I don't think it's that body. I think I want a HTTP body. No, I don't want to get anything like that. I want to create a new body. What do you need? You won't let me. You won't tell me. Oh. Okay, you still won't tell me. Do you have like a new? No. New from? Okay, let's go. Did I lose? Oh no, I lost it. I try to keep this open all day today, and then right before the stream, I'm like, what do I need all these windows for? And I just close them, which is not exactly what I wanted to do. So now I need to go look at my history and find that. I think is this one. Okay, so we're gonna go find the now you're returning result with bytes and status code string. Okay, but that's not. Okay, so here's where we do enter parts. We get the bytes. Okay, then we do request from parts. Rec parts. Okay, so we get the parts again. And then, okay, oh, it's just hyper body, not hyper HTTP body. From and then bytes. Okay, that's what it is. So I'm using the wrong type of body. So I want hyper body. So what is that body? I'm using the wrong body here. I want hyper body. I want that. from, and then this is going to be the bytes. Ooh, mismatch types. Okay. Scott, hello. How are you doing today? So you don't like this. Okay, so expected to struct hyper request found hyper request body, but what's the difference between the generic B and then the body, which is the actual like type? Oh, now in this one, you don't use the generic. You actually just use the Axum body. We can try that. We can try that. So instead of a generic, which I don't remember if that actually works. Pretty good. Figured out hash maps. Moving on to your next unit. Excellent. That's good to hear. Ooh, okay, so the compiler doesn't hate that. It's running. Okay. And now this is okay, this is working. So this should still, okay, so we should still get the quote coming out. Excellent. Okay, so if I just add some more stuff to it. All right, it's working. You're afraid of the next unit. You think it's traits. Oh, traits, simple traits aren't that bad. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. I have faith in you. Okay, so we want let's clean up the warnings at least. Traits are probably a significant mental hurdle, so feel good about yourself when you get it. I mean, feel good about yourself whenever you get anything, like regardless of how hard it is. Every little bit of learning is awesome. Okay, so okay. This is the fun part. Now destructing this into a way that I could disseminate what this means in a way that's easier than what we get out of like a Google search. Okay, so extracting a body is okay. So the basic stuff is we get this out. I get the bytes. I get a string. I get a stir, and then we could do stuff with that. Also turns out my language is random library sources from dev you random already, so you didn't necessarily need to go down that rabbit hole. That makes sense, right? That they would just use that resource. But it's probably good to know, so you could just use it. We should put this quote somewhere else. This doesn't belong here. I should probably create like a models directory where we throw it in there. That makes That makes sense. I'll do it over here. I also wouldn't mind. Do I need to put it in here? It feels like I'm creating a global if I create like a models here. And I'm wondering if maybe it's better to put it in a router specifically for, well, you know what? Maybe I think I am going to keep it here. You know what? We're going to Okay. We're going to keep it here for I'm going to keep it here because like when we do some kind of validation type thing, it's going to be very different, where it's like we're going to have like double options and other weird stuff coming in, and that's all going to be just unique to the middleware we create for it, so it would go in there anyways. Probably all languages do something similar. Yeah, probably. Although web browser, it depends upon where you run, right? If you're on like a web browser, or if you're like in the Java VM or something like that, you probably don't have access to that quite so easily. Because like that's going to be what, Linux, Mac only. Windows probably has their own system for random. Okay, so quote. I want to handle all these as errors a little bit nicer too. So let's break these out. So we're going to do let bytes. Now this is, I'm getting okay, which means it's a result. And if there is an error, I want to probably return an error because we can't get the body, right? So this is going to be an let okay. Bytes. Else we're going to return probably just a status code. Oh, let's print out what it is. Oh, you know, we probably want the error too. Hold on. Okay, so this will be error extracting bytes from body. I don't think I want the hyper status code. Isn't there an Axum status code, or is hyper status code fine? Oh, okay. It must be fine then. Okay, so then we get the bytes. Quote string from UTF-8. Okay, so then this is going to be an option. Which means this can be an else. Okay. Let quote equals quote. Sort of JSON from stir quote string unwrap. You an option or result? You're a result. Okay. Um, Michal, hello. How are you doing today? You have a problem with Axum and SQLite slash. Okay, SQLite connecting with CORM. How to upload a file and save it to the database? Are you actually trying to save the file itself in the database, or are you trying to save the file to disk and then like metadata about like where to find the file, like the path of the file, the path of the file into the database? That's usually what I would suggest, because files and databases are doable, but unnecessarily hard. Okay, why are you upset? Oh, because of that. Did I leave this type in here? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so quote. Can I tell you what your type is going to be? Right, it can be a blob of bytes, but I don't know. I've always regretted it every time that I've ever tried to store a file into a database. It there's usually like usually a data store like S3 or something like that is the better option. But then you store metadata like how to find the file in the database. But is it a hard requirement that you have to store the file in the database? Okay, so mismatch types expected in the enum result found in enum option. Oh, wait. From str, are you not an... Oh, you're a result. Okay. Yes, then that's okay and error. Okay, from UTF-8. You're a result too. Oh, that's probably why. Okay. Nope, I don't want to do that. I want the error. Okay, so we grab you, we match you. We're gonna grab okay, we're gonna get the quote. I guess this is the quote string, so it's really just the string. I return the string. And then we have an error. We'll tracing error and pass it in. Okay, so handling body middleware has error. Okay, so you're happy now. Now what's your mismatch body types, expected struct, handling body quote found in enum result. So we match stir to JSON from stir. You return a result. Okay, so that should be that. Okay. Do you not like the type? Oh, okay. You don't like the type. Type inside async. Oh, wait. Are you async function? Must be known. Sort of JSON is not usually async. Now, can I just say that you're going to be a quote? Ooh, not here. Okay. Can I tell you here you're going to be type quote? No. How do I... How do I hard code and tell this what type it is? Inside of... Oh, wait. What's going on with this? I don't need the okay. I'm not... Yeah. Okay, hold on. Oh, that's the problem. Okay. I was like not necessarily paying attention to the fact that I had originally written the other way around. And I had like two okays, so I was attempting to extract it from a result when I had already extracted it from the result. Okay, so okay, we get the quote here. We log out what the quote is. We put the okay. Let's create the body here separately. Okay, so body, and then you are. We put the requests back together from the parts and the body, and then we run the next request. So either the next middleware or the route handler there, okay. And then everything's good to go. Oh, fun. Okay, so handling the request body. If we need to access the body of the request in middleware, we need to take ownership of it. So I think if we need to access the body of the request in middleware, we need to extract. We need to break the body into its parts. It's into we need to break the body out into its parts along with the body itself. The body bites, like the raw body. I don't like that. So we need to do how about just do a few things? Do a few things. Let's take a look at some middleware that will extract the body, convert it into JSON, convert it into a type, and log it out, put the body back together. Okay, so let's look at some middleware that will log the contents. How about that? Now, no more warnings, okay? Okay, so this is a lot. Uh-oh, what happened? Why can't I move my... Oh no, it happened again. It's just this window. Is this Helix? I feel like this is Helix. This is like the second time it's happened in... This happened, I think this happened yesterday. I can't move up and down. I can't do any commands. I can like lock, so Zellage is working. Okay, so I lost all that. Complex, complicated. I don't know if I want to say that. Okay, so put the body back together again and then run the next middleware. Okay, so we have all of this stuff here. Look at that. Trying to go up, and right here it failed again at that exact same spot. Something about this is hitting it. That's not cool. Okay, let's do this again. I've been saving a lot more often this time. Now, if I try to scroll up, I think it's going to have that same exact problem. So I'm just going to go like, I don't know, 30 up. Oh. And then it dies here. Interesting. Okay. I wonder what could possibly be causing that. Oh, you know what? I bet I can. Okay, let's close you again. Let me take a look at the logs. See if we can find out what is happening in here. So I see a lot of errors. Rust Analyzer is crashing? Wait a second. Why is Rust Analyzer trying to run on a markdown file? Okay, panicking. Let's see. I don't think there's anything super secret in here. Tried sending a response into a closed channel. So okay, I'm going to come to the end. We're going to add some more lines here. I'm going to write and save that file and reopen middleware again. And I'm going to just scroll up. So first of all, could not parse queries for language SQL. Marksman error, okay. Starting marksman. Oh, that is an error. I don't. Starting marksman LSP server. Okay, that's fine. But also, why are you trying to launch SQL for this? Seems interesting. Okay, I want to buffer close the logs. Okay, now if I scroll up, I keep on forgetting. I can't. Oh, it did. Okay, so this is not. There's nothing. It doesn't have anything more. It does not have anything more. Interesting. Okay. So when it crashes, it doesn't write to the logs, which I guess makes sense. So it crashes before. It's like a hard crash. It doesn't have time. It does not being handled properly. This feels like one of those potential beta things. What do we have for Markdown here? In my languages, I have nothing for Markdown. So I have file types for Rust as RS. So I have nothing for file types like MD or Markdown. There's not going to be anything in here for Markdown stuff. I don't know what the runtime thing is. This makes me wonder if I should get rid of it and like have it rebuild whatever this is. Let's YOLO this. I'm gonna move runtime to my desktop. Now let's see. I want to exit all the Helix stuff just in case. You're just gone. Okay, no more Helix running. We got rid of that stuff. It should be still gone, right? Still gone. Let's try Helixing you. Yeah, so it's just an error starting a marksman server, but it's not talking about any problems here whatsoever, which really sucks. I don't know why. Yeah, this is not cool. Not cool, Helix. Well, it didn't create any runtime, so I don't know if that was like a horrible mistake for me to delete that folder or if that didn't need to be there the entire time. Okay, let's I guess we'll just try. We'll just try Vimming it. I don't have no idea if we've got this set up in well, okay, we're getting proper. Yeah, it's been way too long since I've used NVim. I'm gonna forget all the keyboard shortcuts just for Vim. I forget how to go to the bottom. Okay, so we have that. All right, so now what I wanted to do is I wanted to scroll up to the top of the code here and just sort of look at that. So the first thing to note is that we have replaced the generic with hyperbody. Oh, is it G to go to the bottom? Oh, it's G to go to the bottom. And then what's to go to the top? GG is top. G is bottom. Okay, got it. Thank you. That's close. It was GE for the bottom in Helix and then GG for the top. All right, so this is all right. First off, no the signature. Okay, so for this middleware, we've changed the signature of the middleware function to not use a generic, but instead directly set the types of the request and next functions, arguments. So in this case, we're using body. So it's not just that, it's hyper. Hypers Hyper 101 is already out. Hyper 100 came out yesterday. Must have been a bug or something. So hyper. Okay, so and slash is pattern match. Yeah, so I use slash all the time. F or S, and also I think that's the same in Helix too. F or S to do kind of this local search. Oh, right. One of them is for like in line, right? For the same line, and then one of them is for a paragraph. I forget which one is which. Or is it forward and backwards? Is it forward and backwards search? Okay, so I think I should put the apostrophe in here. I don't actually know if that's 100% English correct. Oh, I tried to use go to the end of the line and that doesn't work. How do I do go to the, no, so 0 to the beginning of the line and it's, ooh, no, that's going out. It's going to the, oh, it's $ for the end of the line. Okay, so hyper's body. Okay, so then we'll go into nope, I wanted to go into here. I should change this to be the version that we're using. Okay, so in this case, we're using hyper's body. Oh, backward search is something else. Okay. Hold on. So I remember I can do, what is it? F. It goes to the character, right? Forward from that. So if I come here and I want to go to like, I don't know, this is the no, this is not SI, right? So F, SI. Nope. Forward S. Oh, it just goes to the next the next one character, right? That's what it is. And then S. S changes. You might have remapped S from yourself and just opened Vim and it did not do what I expected. This is the problem with everybody who uses Vim. We all hyper customize it so that it's completely useless to anybody but ourselves. It's hilarious. Okay, so in this case, we're using hyper's body. Okay, so I should probably go back up by page, but I'm lazy. Alpha Bra, hello. How are you doing today? Okay, then we break the request into parts. We're actually not going to use the parts for anything specific. I forget what exactly those are for. Like I know, okay, so this is just like parts, which is not, okay, that's not really helpful. What can I do with them? Oh, okay, so we get like method, URI, version, headers, extension. Okay, so parts has like everything about the request that's not the body. So next we break the request into its base parts. Parts and body. The parts in this case are everything that is not the body. That is the headers, method, things like that. Don't panic. Hello, welcome. Thank you for the raid. How are you doing today? And raiders, how are you doing today? Don't panic. What were you working on today? And how was your stream? Looks like it was what? Building. Let's see. You're fine, thanks to you. I was struggling getting a RISC-V emulator working. Wait, RISC-V or is it RISC-V? But anyways, all that, I mean, it sounds interesting doing a RISC emulator. I've never built any kind of emulator before, but the struggle is like that sounds like it would be something worth struggling for. RISC-V, okay. I'm doing pretty good. We are, this is my afternoon stream. We've been working on Yes. Hello, Sharizzle. Yes, we have Zelich, and then we have, it was Helix, but then on this specific markdown file, it kept on crashing. So I switched over to NeoVim, which is, I haven't used NeoVim in a while, and so I don't remember what I've set up for it or anything that I've done with it. It has correct syntax highlighting, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, so we are currently working on a course for Axum. The lesson right now is middleware. So we're currently working on the part of middleware, which is extracting the body, doing something with the body, putting it back together, and sending it back out again. Al4, hello. How are you doing today? Am I creating an Axum course with HTMX? No. Actually, this course is just going to be the backend itself, so no front end component to it. So not HTMX, not really anything else. Although it shouldn't be terribly hard to set up something like HTMX with Axum. It should be fine. Yeah, Axum Middleware. So middleware in this case like runs before, potentially after, all between the routes. So you can say, okay, request comes in, I want to, like, I don't know, authenticate somebody, like make sure you like get their token, go to the database, get the user if their user actually exists, and then populate an extension or something, and basically make it so that way the route handler can just go with the user. And that way the route handler doesn't have to like worry about getting the user or do anything other than the thing that it's supposed to do. Middleware is surprisingly helpful or handy, nice, something like that. So we're currently explaining what this middleware, how this all works. So here's the middleware. Here's our handling body. So the idea is that a request comes in, and the request in this case is this one. I'm sending a post request with some JSON that basically just is a quote. We got this quote the other day. Have we tried Leptos instead of HTMX? I have tried Leptos. Yeah. So this on last month we spent a day and we did a Leptos sort of exploration, and it was a lot of fun. We were able to sort of like play around with Leptos. It's as fast as it says it is. We didn't get too far in it. We didn't get to server-side rendering, but I do like it a lot. Now, Lepto, I don't think HTMX had really taken off as much as it has more recently. So it wasn't really on my radar at that time. So HTMX is one of the things that I'll look at probably later. So you're on a Rust on Web enthusiast. Yes, actually. So the place that I'm hosting these courses is on an LMS that we've created on the stream, and it's written. So here's the LMS, and this entire thing. So if we go and we can like, am I logged in? Am I really logged in? I am not. Also, I don't know why that was not dark mode. So if I go, like, for example, we created a SQLX Rust course. And so this is something that is all on here. And all of this entire website is built with U. So U.rs, which is a front-end framework written in Rust. And that framework is highly recommended if you're familiar with or you want to program in sort of like the React style. So I post about SQLX, how cool. I love how it checks queries at compile time. Yes, it is actually a really cool part of it, which is it will check them at compile time if you use the macro. Otherwise, it will check them at runtime, kind of, if you don't use the macro. Did you see Hyper V1? Yes, we did. As far as I know, Hyper V1 has been the last roadblock before Axum 1.0 is a possibility. So I'm super excited about that. Also, hello Emil, how are you doing today? Also, I noticed that Hyper yesterday came out with V1, and or maybe the day before. Hyper V 1.0.1 came out today, like between this morning and this afternoon. So there are probably some like little kinks from the new major version. I mean, it's been years since it's had a major. Well, I mean, this is the first like 1.0. So, but this is huge for Rust because there's been a lot of, I'm sure that there's a lot of companies that would just refuse to use anything that's labeled beta, and having Hyper no longer be beta might actually be the thing that we need to just have a lot of frameworks and a lot of tools come out of beta themselves, which will be huge, huge, huge. Exactly what we need. Nice stretch, Sylvie. Okay, so back to this. We are explaining what's going on here. So we first start. So in this case, we're using the hyper body in there. Next, we break the request into its base parts and body. The parts in this case are everything that is not the body. So that is headers, method. We were taking a look at this. So method, URI, versions, extensions, and so on. So headers, method, etc. The body is the raw body data. So the raw body data, but we can't use it in this form. 0x isn't beta and Rust, it's the perpetual. I'm not sure this API is the one I want, so I'll keep it at 0x. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the problem is like in the Rust community, it might not be considered that. But if you look at like literally everywhere else, if you start with a 0 in Semver, that absolutely is beta. And so like try convincing a major like hospital system or like a government entity or something like that, hey, can I use this thing? The version is 0. Whatever, and the security team is like, nope, we refuse to even look at that. That's beta. It will be really hard to convince people to like look into that. At least with a 1, it's going to be like, okay. It's going to be easier to have those conversations now. Okay, so the body is the raw data, but we can't use it in this form. So next up. Okay, so then we convert the body to bytes. Okay, so we can convert the body into bytes, which, what type of bytes are these? They're hyper body bytes. So we have body, and then we have 2 bytes on that. Okay, to read the full body, use body 2 bytes. Okay, so I want this one. Okay, so that's this. which then gives us a bytes. Okay, we can convert the body into bytes using the 2bytes method. Is this prep for a service trait video? Not exactly service trait. It's a it's gonna be a video on middleware in Axum. Or rather, this entire thing is a full lesson on just middleware in Axum. Okay, so we can convert the body into bytes using the 2bytes method. Okay, so we've done that. So that gives us bytes. Next up, from UTF-8. So then we can, however, bytes are still not really usable in this form. We can convert the bytes into a stir using, it's the this is the standard stir, the from UTF-8. Using from UTF-8. None of that is our actual book, is it? So what is it? Rust Lang. That's the, is that actually the thing? No, that's the book. That's a reference book. It's not what I want. What, I can't go back? Oh, here it is. Okay. So, from UTF-8. Okay, so standard stir this. Okay, we can convert the bytes into a stir using from UTF-8. So I could be fancy there. Thank you, Josaurus. Also, hello. How are you doing today? This is, I don't know what I was using back then. I don't think I was playing around with Markdown either. So it's not very happy with Markdown. So it's interesting. Okay, so we can convert the bytes into a stir using from UTF-8. But yeah, I decided to use a match here because I wanted to keep the error. And then that way I can log the error out. If it was just an option, then I would then use like a let sum. But these are all results that I'm getting back. So I want to log those out and then do an early return from there. I know I can log in that. Can I keep the error, like the actual content of the error? Like how would I get that? Like, so let's say I didn't do this. So I want to do like let, so this would be like what? Let okay quote. Now, how do I get the else? Oh, okay. I'm not crazy. And yeah, I haven't figured out. It would be really nice if I could do something like let okay quote else and then extract the error just like this there, like just grab it, and then that would be amazing, wouldn't it? But I don't think I can. You could do a map error, I guess, but that's just bad. I can't do a map error because I'm not returning I have to return a response as opposed to an result response, which like that would be perfect. That would be perfect. I do map error all the time. Map error is not that bad. It can take a lot of room up though. Okay, we can convert the bytes into a string using from UTF-8. Now we're getting someplace. Now we're getting someplace and can do something with this stir. We created, okay, so let's create a struct. So, or the quote struct. So, we've created a quote struct, which we can use to extract out to deserialize using Serde JSON. Well, so hold on. Let okay foo equals method bar dot map error. So you're returning status code, but that's going to be a result with status code. It's going to be a result with status code, but the function doesn't return a like the middleware function doesn't return a result. Can I return a result in this? That's actually a good question. So can I do something like response if you're successful, status code if you're not? Totally get you. Let's just do don't need the into response. Oh, okay, so maybe I can. So if this is happy, so I need to just change these. Okay. Oh no. Okay, so you're gonna be okay. Okay, okay. So this might work. All right, let's change this. So if we return, okay, so we're returning a result, response, status code, get use. Okay, now we're talking. So that's bytes equals, we don't have to match anymore. Now we're going to do a hyperbody. Now we can do our map error. We get the error. We don't need the OK bytes. Something like that. Why are you unhappy? Couldn't convert the error to status code. Oh, right. Hold on. In this case, we do error, no, status code. What is this? This is, couldn't convert this. This is probably an internal server error. Like that. Okay. There you go. That's better. It's not what you meant, but it works. Yeah. I'd return whatever is in the let else or assign the variable. Well, whatever's returning here is going back to the client. Unless I was to create another middleware somewhere else that would handle that. No, what do you meant? But this is even better. Okay, I'll take it. Sometimes like I mishear or misunderstand or miss like think, and then hopefully it turns out better. Sometimes it does, and I get lucky. Sometimes it's like the fun little journey of us getting to get Brooks to understand what Chad is trying to say. The better. Owen, hello. How are you doing today? All right, let's see if I can multi-cursor this. There's nothing else to do there, so we're going to do a... All right, so we're going to do match. Okay, so handling you. So let's take you, and you're going to become a map the error. We get the error. Close you out. Okay, so then we get rid of that. Actually, I don't want... Nope, I lost the second. Oops. Let's try this again. Error. Uh-oh. Error. Okay, we're back. Okay, tracing. Okay, so we trace an error. We come to this return, and we're getting rid of you. Then that closes that one, which means you get replaced with that. And then we're do that. Which for some reason is everything except that one there. Then we're good to go. Okay, this is good. Tracing info quote is the middleware. Why do you? Oh, because you need a semicolon. Okay, there we go. Much better. A little bit cleaner. This works because result response status code implements into response. Yes, indeed. I noticed that you can't. The error has to be an impl into response, but you can't put an impl into response in the error part of the result. But you can put that into the OK part of the result, which I thought is interesting. I don't know if that's I think that's more of a Rust thing. Okay, but I like this a little bit more. Which means we get to, nope, whatever. It's visual and go replace this all. Okay. For this middleware, we've changed the signature of the middleware function to not use a generic, but instead directly set the types of the request and next arguments. In this case, we're using hypers, body, and hypers, body. We're also turning a result response status code. How do I? Okay, there we go. We're also returning a response status code so that we can handle errors a bit easier. Okay. Next, we break the request into its base parts and body. The parts in this case aren't okay. We convert the body into bytes. We convert the bytes into a stir. We created a quote struct that we can use to deserialize using JSON. All right, so that brings us to here. So we get that out. Then we can finally do our now we can do whatever we want with this object, with the quote object. In this case, we're logging out the value, logging it out. We're logging it. However, this is also where we could validate, handle authentication, or do anything else with the body that we wanted to before the route handler gets called. Yeah, do I mean like result input into response, input into response? Yes, that's what I mean. Because I was thinking about that, and I've actually done result into input into response, but then like error, which then if you only do half of it, then it kind of makes it not quite as interesting. Okay. So we've actually done that. All right. Once we're finished, it's time to put the request back together again. Since we've consumed the request and the body, okay, since we've consumed the body, we'll need to recreate it using the body from method and hand it the bytes. From there, we can create the request with the parts and body together. It may feel like a lot, but this allows us to handle any kind of data coming in from the client, not just JSON. Might be due to question mark, since question mark calls into. I guess it does, doesn't that? But still, you would think that it would call that on the error too. Oh no, I guess it does call it on error. I don't know. It feels odd to me, but I'm not. I haven't really felt like I needed to like research into it that deeply. Okay. Only on the air, yeah. It may feel like a lot, but this allows us to handle any kind of data coming in from the client, not just JSON. So this put the body back together. Okay. So that is a lot, but now, okay. Conclusion. Middleware allows us to run logic before, I guess, like around. We can do logic after, so like before and after the route handlers I get the request. It's very this is very useful. Let's see. How do I want to put this? So this is mostly useful when we have oh, okay. So it allows us to run logic before and after the route handlers get the request. If we find that we have logic, so if we're running, if we are creating code that is not like really, that doesn't really belong in the route handler, but is still essential, like guarding the route, converting data types. Ooh, I don't know if converting data types is exactly right. Like guarding the route, validating data, setting defaults, then it might be better. It might belong in a middleware. Let's see. Angelus, hello. How to implement multi-part in Axum. You know, I think we did we do that once? I can't remember if I've done that before in Axum. I'll have to let's see. Did I add that to my list? So I have serving static files, but that's the other way around. That's like sending out files. Multi-part is usually receiving files, like, because that's the big part about like multi-part. You know, all this stuff is like deployments and that stuff. So I want multi-part. Handling multi-part requests. It's usually for like storing a body, right? So let's do multi-part. And then better name here. Okay. I'm not exactly sure where to put that. I might go like somewhere up here and there, but I'll just throw this around here somewhere. So I can't answer that right this second, but maybe in one of the future streams, we'll definitely, well, I'll be adding it to the course, so it'll be there somewhere. Emil, thank you. Okay, so then it might belong in a middleware. Okay, so it might belong in a middleware. Since middleware functions can be run on every request, so on every request for every route, or just, you know, I guess like from, okay, so can we run okay, since we can choose which routes our middleware functions can be run on, so ranging from every request to just a single one, it can be extremely it is extremely flexible. So it is very flexible. So it is very flexible in how we can use them. All right, ending these things and the conclusion is, I think, my weakest part. All right, so we're just gonna do that. Okay, let's save this. All right, so this is finished rough draft. Okay, let's go through this. Oh, you meant that you should write that in a text like that? This is awesome. Yeah, I don't know if I want to write that into the text. But yeah, a middleware is one of my favorite tricks in any kind of backend framework, because it really allows us to remove a lot of just cruft from route handlers. And I would say that if you do a code review, or like you are being code reviewed, and somebody sees like just a bunch of logic that doesn't really belong, like, okay, hey, here's like, we're doing like a to-do app, here's a route to create the to-do, and like you're doing validation inside of the route handler for that to-do app, that's a clear indication that you don't either know how to do the middleware in there, or you like didn't think of it. But if you put like the validation, the authentication, everything in there, everything becomes really simple and easy to test too. It's so nice. And thank you. It's awesome that I'm doing this kind of content too. Yeah, I'm like really big on this type of like education and trying to teach and all that stuff. And this is what I consider the free tier for the courses. So also happy to do this all live on stream. Okay, so let's what do I want to do? I probably want to spell check it first and then read through it. Okay. How do I do this for the file? I'm okay with for the file. It's okay, capital A. Okay, so wait, is it usable with no E? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. Um, I'm so used to seeing the other spelling of that. Okay, so I want 0. Okay, cool. Um, multi-part plus saving file to database as a good topic. I don't think I'll do saving the file to the database, but that's only because I don't agree with doing that, and I don't want to encourage it. What I do, what could be like maybe like a separate course, and I'm going to save this as a good idea. A micro course on how to utilize something like S3. You could say, like, use multi-part to save a file, like any type of file of like pretty much any size, although there are limitations. That goes to like the local system, like the local server, then ship it off to S3, get the link from S3 and put that into the database. And then that way, if you ever want to delete, you ever want like access to that again, you just grab it there and you know where to go get it. That way it's stored in a cloud. You can have any number of systems running on it, and you don't slow the database down by having a ton of binary files in the database itself. Like, unless it's a document store. But even then, a document store is still not good for files. And it could be any kind of file then too, right? Like videos, images, JSON objects, stuff like that. So, all right, what is this? What do I do? So it's going to be course. So create course on multi-part plus saving file to S3 or other document store. I guess like plus database. So that would almost be like, here, let me do notes on that. The notes on this one would maybe even be like walkthrough course. So like course on creating a like a file uploader tool, or like an image repository. Let's do like an image sharing repository. I like it. Okay, that is saved, so I will not forget it, but obviously I'm focused on this course first, so after that, then we're going to look at other things, and I'm only working on this part-time, so I only have so much time, and I'm trying to do better at focusing on this one because I know a lot of people are waiting for it. All right, let's read through this, and we'll see how long it takes us to get through this. It's like 200 and something lines. All right, so code. I actually have the code, so we can put this up here. Okay, so we're gonna commit. Let's see, this is rough draft finished, or like a completed article. Cool, so you actually do exist. At that. Okay. Objectives. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to describe what middleware is, create a middleware function, access state in middleware, access extensions in middleware, add an extension in middleware. Update an extension in middleware. Add an extension in middleware. We didn't add an extension in middleware. Okay, so access and set extensions in middleware. All right, so now we set extension value. So add a new extension. If we wanted to create a new extension, we can use the which one are we using for this? This is the logit. No, that doesn't feel like right. What were you doing? I like how I said the next middleware that runs is the logit function. Let's update it to extract the message. Oh, and log it out. Okay, so we got that. Oh, it's in log state. That's where we did this. It's log state. That's okay. So if I want to add another one in here, so we can do a request. Oh, we have a, so okay, request dot extensions mute insert a type. Now I can't do a static stir, so I can do like a string. That works. So a string like from I am a new extension. Let's actually just grab that piece out here. Okay, so what is possible to do this and stay, oh no. If we wanted to create a new extension, we can use the insert method. On the when we get the this one. When we get the extensions request mute. This could, in the case, okay, so since we've already added a static stir, we'll need to add a different type. Okay. I like it. Okay. Update an extension in middleware. Add extension middleware. Extract the body in middleware. Put the body back together in middleware. All right, content. What is middleware? In a context of an API server like Axum, middleware is a function similar to a route handler. However, instead of handling the route, it is designed to run between the request being created and I did not read that at the right cadence. However, instead of handling the route, is designed to run. I feel like, okay, there's a reason why I'm missing the cadence there. I need a comma. Okay, so however, maybe a comma. However, instead of handling the route, it is designed to run between the request being created and the handler being called. Middleware is a great place to put code that doesn't quite belong in the route handler, but also is required for each or some requests. Middleware can also be run in chains. So if we want to run several things before letting the route handler have the request, we can do that. Some examples of what middleware could be: custom logging for all requests, ensure that the user is authenticated, ensure that the user has the correct role, validate objects in a body. If we return early in a middleware function, the route handler won't be called. This makes middleware an excellent guard for our handlers. This means that we can write our route handlers to assume that the request is authenticated, validated, and or correct, and can assume that everything is good to go. Let's create a simple middleware function. We're going to follow the example in the Axum docs to create a simple logging middleware function. I like to create a middleware directory with all the middlewares that we're using to keep them organized. Here's what the middleware file logget.rs looks like. Okay, so we have you. We use a generic for the request because we don't know what is in the request body. And we load, I don't think we need load. This is where the Helix keyboard shortcuts. I tried to do D. I'm like, D. Why isn't the character deleting? He's like, oh, right. We're in this. We load in a middleware function to the main router with a layer using middleware from function. Note that we're using the middleware module from Axum. So if you name your middleware directory middleware, this may become confusing. Nobody does that, right? We now have some middleware running our app. Access state in middleware. If we want to access state in middleware, we'll have to use a different function than the main layer call. Don't forget to set the state return value in the nested router. Something to note here. The middleware is run from bottom to top. So the log state middleware will run before the logget middleware. Here's what the log state middleware looks like. Access and set extensions in middleware. Extensions can also be accessed in the middleware. Let's set one on the main router and access the value in the log state middleware. Now in the log state middleware function, we can use the extension extractor to access the message that we set in the main router. Set extension value. One of the use cases of middleware is to run code in a request data and make something available in an extension for the route handler. Let's take the message. Okay, so let's take the message. I had to think really carefully there for what I was doing. Let's take the message that we have and replace it for the next middleware. So here we go in and we grab your information and we do the replace. The next middleware that runs is the logget function. Let's update it to extract the message and log it out. While it is possible to do this in state using an arc mutex, I don't recommend it. I feel that extensions are best used for data that is set at runtime for each request. So I don't use personal pronouns very often in these lessons. I think like whenever it's like a this is like a strong personal preference that I have, I usually switch over and I'll use like a personal pronoun for it. Maybe like to have it hit harder. Add a new extension. If we wanted to create a new extension, we can use the insert method when we get the request extensions mute. Since we've already added a static stir, we'll need to add a different type. Handling the body in middleware. Let's say that we want to log the contents of the body in middleware. We'll need to extract the body out, convert it into the appropriate type, log it, put the body back together again, and then run the next middleware. Let's take a look at what this looks. Let's let's take a look at what this looks like. Doesn't feel right. So let's take a look at the code. Let's take a look at the code before we step through what is happening and why. You should have a cool bear like Amos does on his blog. Oh, I don't think I've looked at Amos's blog. What kind of bear does Amos have? Do you have let's see. I would say do you have a link, but the problem is that it will not be happy with you because I turned off links for like random things. What should I Google search? Is it like Amos? Like give me a Google search term and then I'll find it. I mean, I probably have and I just forgot it or didn't think about it. Oh, the faster than lime. Okay. Why do I not know his name is Amos? I think I only know him as faster than lime. Let me see, because I don't know if I play around, I like actually pay attention to things like the bears. Isn't it like faster than lie.me? So it's like that. Does he? Yeah, I don't actually think I've noticed where the bear is. Tea Kettle, have a great rest of your day. Oh, the bear interjects with stuff sometimes. Oh, I don't think I've like looked at something. Oh, it's that thing, isn't it? Oh, that would be cool. But the problem is, now that I see that, I don't want to do that because I don't want to like steal an idea from Faster Than Lime. And I want to like make it look like I'm just taking his idea. So unless we can make it somehow very unique. Okay, so I would love to do this, but not this. Like something else. So I'm going to put a to-do system in for figure out how to have Zilby. Zilby, by the way, is cat. So Zilby's been with us for 2.5, closer, like he's getting close to 3 years old now. He loves hanging out with us on stream. So Zilby will be the one who, if we're going to interject any like creature into our articles to like, you know, explain things better, it's going to be Zilby. So figure out how to have Zilby pop up in the articles or stream, because I could also not put it in the articles themselves. We could just have it like Zilby pops up and does something. That would be really cool. Or somewhere to explain, ask questions, or do something, and then I'll put into the notes. I'll just sort of grab from this. inspired by bear in boom. You feel like it's a good construct, breaks the flow a bit in a good way. Yeah, it will be. I could see that. I can definitely see that. All right, let's go back to this. For this middleware, we've changed the signature of the middleware function to not use a generic, but instead directly set the types of the request and next arguments. In this case, we're using hyper's body. I feel like there's something more. Like in this case, we're using hyper's body. No, okay, that sounds right. We're also returning a result response status code so that we can handle errors a bit easier. Next, we break the request into its base parts and body. The parts in this case are everything that is not the body. That is the headers, method, version, extensions, etc. The body is the raw body data, but we can't use it in this form. We can convert the body into bytes using the toBytes method. However, bytes are still not really usable in this form either. We can convert the bytes into a stir using from UTF-8. Now we're getting someplace, I think like somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere and can do something with this stir. We've created a quote struct, which we can use to deserialize using serde JSON. Now we can do whatever we want with the quote object. In this case, we're logging it. However, this is also where we could validate, handle authentication, or do anything else with the body that we wanted to before the route handler gets called. Once we're finished, it's time to put the request back together again. Since we've consumed the body, we'll need to recreate it using the body from method and hand it the bytes. From there, we can create the request with the parts and body together. It may feel like a lot, but this allows us to handle any kind of data coming in from the client, not just JSON. Conclusion. Middleware allows us to run logic before and after route handlers and get the request. If we find that we are creating code that doesn't really belong in the route handler, but is still essential, like guarding the route, validating data, setting defaults, then it might belong in a middleware. Let's do a middleware function. Since we can choose which routes our middleware functions can be run on, ranging from every request to just a single one, it is very flexible in how we can use them. And that's it. Don't have any details on this one, I don't think. So 301 lines. Nice. Let's see. With handle authentication, do you mean like checking cookies, headers? It could be, yeah. Yeah. So like I feel like it should be done in its own middleware. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to basically say is like, okay, you can have like an authenticate middleware, and that's job would be to extract out the headers and like, okay, you have like an authenticate header with like a JOT token in it, or you have like the cookies with like, you know, a token or an ID or something else in there. You extract that out. You can go to the database, get the user, create an extension and stuff the user in the extension, or just return a 403 or a 401. Like one of those things. And then that way you don't even have to do like a, you just have the user in the routes now that you needed them. Which is always nice. Okay, so I think we're pretty much good to go with this one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and push this up. My alarm went off for the time for the for our stream today. I usually stream until around 4:30, and it's a little bit after that right now. So let's go ahead and clean up what we've done. So added example of creating a new extension. Okay, so we push that up. That's good to go. I push this up. Okay, so we have all that. Okay, so the plan is tomorrow. I'm going to, okay, so during probably tomorrow morning stream, we're going to do a really quick review, and then we're going to see if we can do a video of middleware. So every lesson comes with a video too. So basically it's the idea of like, okay, if you learn best through reading essentially a blog post like this, then that's great. If you learn best from a video, you can do that. And if you like both, you get both. So I don't have time tonight. I feel like this is gonna be a really long video, but it might not also, because I think a lot of the time it was just sort of research of how these all are working. And I think we've got that down now. The question is, how many takes is it gonna take? Because I'm not convinced that I'll get the middleware stuff done in one take. I might have like a hard forget on one of those things and then have to like try it multiple times. So we'll see. If everything works out fine, then tomorrow afternoon, we get to start on something like the next lesson, whatever that's going to be. So that's going to be exciting. So anyways, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that you all have a great rest of your Thursday. I will be back, as I mentioned, tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time to do more Rust course creation. Thank you, Chrono. With that, I don't have anything else. So have a good one. See you next time. Bye.